Hey, just playing a little golf here in the backyard. I've got all this extra free time for activities now that we installed this kick-ass drip irrigation system and these rain barrels. And well, let me tell you all about it. If you've spent any time down here between May and November, especially in the late summer, then you've probably experienced a Ziwa rain. It's fast and heavy and floods the streets. It will find creases in your windows and through the roof, and it will enter your home. Early on in our construction, we were planning to have some sort of drainage. It's not very common here. If a property has anything at all to help lead the rain away from the house, then it's usually just a tube that puts the water from the roof directly onto the street in front of the house. And we do that too. But this past spring, we finally finished our rooftop drainage system. The entire system only cost us about $500 US, and that includes the materials and the installation. The water that runs off the front of the roof will still go out into the street, and the water off one side of the roof will just fall onto the back hallway or the side hallway of our house. And the water from the rooftop patio, the water that falls onto the roof above the rooftop patio, and then the other two sides of the roof will be drained off and into our rain barrels, which I'll talk to you about in just a minute. This past summer, my folks came here and they really my mom attempted to install an irrigation system in the backyard, but we just couldn't get it working correctly. Most of the parts they brought from the States, and after several long days of work and too many leaks that we just couldn't resolve, we said screw it and went to the beach. But when my parents came back down here last month, my mom decided to give it another go. We were able to find the extra parts that we needed to finish the job from the local steel store across from La Papaloca here in town. We changed the irrigation system from watering the backyard plants to watering the courtyard plants, as well as some of the plants here on the pool patio. In order for it to work best, we split the lines and used two hoses with two separate timers. It seemed like before the water just wasn't getting all the way through to each plant. Those last couple plants, there just wasn't any water left. So after a few tweaks, we have the timer set to run twice a day for 10 minutes each, and everything is working perfectly. In order for you to run this, you need to have your water on at all times. So we purchased a 4-hose splitter with 2 of the faucet outputs being taken by the timers / irrigation system, and the other 2 being used for watering plants that are not on the irrigation system. The last part of our irrigation and drainage system was the rain barrels. We purchased 2 tinacos that we were going to use as rain barrels from Ferreteria Guerrero, our favorite local hardware store. And they cost about 5,000 pesos, roughly $275 US. We spent another $75 US or so in parts to get everything working. The hose, the pieces to connect the 2 tinacos together, and then attach the hose parts, a little bit of 4-inch pipe, and a few 4-inch pipe elbows to connect the drainage to the tinaco, plus some gravel. The first step was to level out an area to put the tinacos. We have a little space by our pool, and after adding the gravel and leveling it off, we had just enough room to place the Tanakos. Connecting the two Tanakos proved to be a little difficult. Since any runoff water is only going into one Tanako, you need to have the water go into the other Tanako, but then you have to split off that hose so you can actually use that water to give to the plants. It's confusing, but we got it figured out. Except I had all sorts of issues with leakage out of the bottom of these stinking Tanakos. Lots of plumber's tape and constantly screwing around with all these connections to get it somewhat under control. I did several test runs by adding a little bit of water and then waiting a day to see how much was leaking out, and I think I mostly got the leaking under control. The last step was connecting the 4-inch drain pipe that went from the roof down the side of the house and into the Tanaka. Fortunately, Ferreteria Guerrero helped me out again by cutting a hole in the Tanako's top. Still just a little bit of leaking, maybe an ounce or two an hour. I didn't finish this project until the end of the rainy season, but fortunately we got a late November rain, and it seems like it's working like it's supposed to. It was fun to follow the water from the roof into the gutter, down the pipe, and into the Tanakos. Okay, time to test it out. It's not a super strong flow, and it would have been better if I could have placed the Tanakos a little higher to allow gravity to do its thing, but it still gets the job done. I think the moral of the story here is, even though these projects were years in the making, part of it didn't exactly go as originally planned, and it's not still perfect, it works pretty damn well. And we're conserving water. Isn't that what it's all about? All right, thanks for watching. Take care.